Welcome students. Let us continue from the last session, fourth session. We were discussing about quantum numbers. We had discussed two quantum numbers. Let us repeat here. The quantum numbers are the set of numbers which give complete information about an electron in an atom. There are four quantum numbers. First one is principal quantum number. It indicates the main shell or the orbit in which electrons revolve around the nucleus. It is represented as n, small n. So, what does principal quantum number indicates? It indicates the main shell or the orbit, or you can even say main energy level. It indicates the main energy level of an electron. What are the possible values of n? N can have values 1, 2, 3 and so on. If n is equal to 1, we call it as K shell. N is equal to 2, we call it as L shell. N is equal to 3, N is equal to 4 is N shell. So depending upon the value of n, give the name for the shell K, L, M and N. Bohr also calls it as energy level. He says first energy level, second energy level, third energy level, fourth energy level and so on. So energy levels or main shell or orbit is indicated by principal quantum number. Okay, next. Azimuthal quantum number. It indicates the subshell or the orbital in which the electron is present. It is represented as small l. The value of L depends upon value of n. For a given value of n, L can have the value 0 to n minus 1. What are the values of L? 0 to n minus 1. N is equal to 1, which we call it as K shell. L value should be n minus 1. That is 1 minus 1 is 0. So if L is equal to 0, it is 1s, s orbital. S has the spherical shape. So if you remember in the last session, for different values of L, we gave the name of the orbital and we got to know the shape. For example, L is 0, S spherical, L is equal to 1, P dumbbell, L is equal to 2, D double dumbbell, L is equal to 3, F complicated. Okay, so this is what we saw in the last session. So here now we'll continue with the third quantum number, that is magnetic quantum number. Third quantum number is magnetic quantum number. It indicates the number of orientation possible for an orbital in space. When I say S orbital is spherical, when I say P orbital is dumbbelled and D orbital is double dumbbelled, how exactly you can imagine them in the three-dimensional space? S orbital spherical, how it looks. P orbital dumbbell, how it looks. And D orbital double dumbbell, how exactly it is oriented in the space, is what is indicated by magnetic quantum number. Indicates the orientation possible for an orbital. It is represented by small m. The value of m depends on the value of L. For a given value of L, m can have values from minus L to plus L through 0. So, m value depends on L. Let us see the example. If L is equal to 0, m can have only one value and that is 0. So, only one orientation is possible for s orbital. So, s orbital means only one s orbital, only one orientation is possible. If you take L is equal to 1, which is P, what is the value of M? It should be plus or minus L and 0. So if L is 1, minus 1, 0, plus 1. Minus 1, minus L to plus L through 0. So if L is 1, M value will be minus 1, 0, plus 1. That is 3 orientations are possible for P orbital. And what do you call those orientations as? Px, Py, Pz. Understood, students? 3 orientation of p is possible. So it will have 3 suborbitals, px, py, pz. Okay. Next, L is equal to 2. If L is equal to 2, what are the possible values of M? Minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. As I told you here, minus L to plus L through 0. So, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. Totally 5 orientation possible for D. So, S has only one orientation, P has 3 orientations, D has 5 orientations. Okay, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square y square, dz square. Now, F will have 7 orientations, and that you need not worry, students, because since it is complicated, you will not study much about F orbital. We'll restrict our study only to SPD orbital. And one more point, each and every orbital you are saying, S orbital, Px, Py, Pz orbital, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square y square dz square, each and every orbital can hold 2 electrons. That is very, very important. Remember, students, each orbitals can hold 2 electrons. So capacity of each orbital will be 2 electrons. So capacity of s orbital will be 2. Capacity of p orbital on the whole, capacity of p orbital on the whole will be 3 suborbitals. You have 3 into 2, 6 electrons p orbitals can hold. Similarly, d electrons can hold 10 electrons. Okay, why I am telling you all this is, later for configuration we require this. For electronic configuration, when you are writing, we require this. That's why remember, each orbitals, when I say pxy, px, py, pz, all this, each and every orbital can hold 2 electrons. So this is regarding magnetic quantum number. See, this is how the s orbital looks. Magnetic quantum number tells you the orientation. S orbital has only one orientation. Shape of s orbital is spherical, and this is how it is oriented. Okay. Whereas if you take p orbital, you can see 3 orbitals of p, px, py, pz. Dumbbell shape along x-axis, dumbbell shape along y-axis, and dumbbell shape along z-axis. So this is how you write the orbitals of p. So take down the students in the book, take down the shape of s orbital, write s here and take down this 3 shape, write p here and then take down this shape. So totally 3 suborbitals you have for p. Okay, and you call them as px, py, and pz. Okay, now let us see about d orbital. There are 5 d orbitals, if you can see. Okay, what do you call them? dxy, dyz, dxz, dx square y square, and dz square. Totally 5. Now if you can see, students, d orbital is planar. If you can see p orbital, you can see the orbital along the axis. It's on the axis, whereas d orbital is planar. Can you see? This is the axis you have, but you can see the dumbbell here. We call this as double dumbbell. 2 dumbbells are there, so we call it as double dumbbell, and the dumbbell is placed between the axis. So that's why it is planar. Okay, take down the students, take down a diagram here. They'll ask you in the exam, they'll ask you to draw the diagram of p orbital, d orbital, s orbital, and so on. So please take down the diagrams. Now last is the spin quantum number. Spin quantum number indicates the spin of electron, which is generated due to the rotation of electron about its own axis. It is represented as S. An electron can rotate both clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. The value of S are independent of the 3 quantum numbers. So spin quantum number tells you the spin of the electron. Electrons can spin clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here the value of S is independent. It has its own value. It can have only 2 values. S can be plus half, S can be minus half. When is S plus half? When electrons spin clockwise. When electron spin anti-clockwise, the value will be minus half. So this is the fourth quantum number, students, spin quantum number. It indicates the spin of the electron. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is clockwise spinning, this is anti-clockwise spinning. Minus half, plus half. Okay, if it is plus half, clockwise, minus half, anti-clockwise. So this is the fourth and the last quantum number. Okay, so totally 4 quantum numbers. Principal quantum number indicates the main shell. Then azimuthal quantum number tells you the subshell and the shape of the electron. Magnetic quantum number tells you the orientation of electron, which axis it is oriented or which plane it is oriented. Then last one is spin quantum number, tells you the spin of the electron, whether the electron is spinning in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, is given by spin quantum number. So finish with the 4 quantum numbers. Because keeping this 4 quantum numbers in mind, we'll be starting to write the electronic configuration of electrons. Electronic configuration for elements. Okay, so electronic configuration, the arrangement of electrons in various available orbital of an atom is called electronic configuration. So you're going to arrange the electron in various available orbital of an atom is called electronic configuration. Electronic configuration obviously is based on atomic number. We can even say it as distribution of electron in orbital. You will distribute the electrons in the orbital. For that, there are a few important rules. The first rule is Pauli's exclusion principle. Now, what does this Pauli's exclusion principle states? It states that no 2 electrons can have same set of values for all 4 quantum numbers. So when you take an electron in an atom, depending upon the position where the electron is present, you can give the address to the electron. You can say electron is in 3s orbital. You can say electron is 6s orbital. Electron is in 4f orbital. So depending upon the position of the electron in an atom, you can give the address to the electron. You can exactly say where exactly the electron is present. Is it present in the first energy level suborbital S, or is it present in 6th energy level with suborbital S? So all this is being told by this electronic configuration. So when you give electronic configuration to the elements, you have to follow certain rules. What is the first rule? First rule is Pauli's exclusion principle. What does this principle says? It states that no 2 electrons can have same set of values for all 4 quantum numbers. So for all the 4 quantum numbers cannot be same for 2 electrons, which means each and every electron has its own quantum number, set of quantum number. That 4 quantum numbers will not be same for both. At least they vary in the last one, that is the spin quantum number. Okay, so this we'll see with an example here. If you can come to this oxygen, till here you will not have any problem. If you come to here with oxygen, if you see the paired electrons, okay, if you come to this, here I'll just give the configuration for this electron. Where is that electron? It is in 2p. Okay, so what is first quantum number n for this? N for this electron is 2. Okay, then it is p, right? If it is p means the L value will be 1. So n value will be 2 for this electron. L value will be 1. What will be the m? M is 3 orbitals you have for p. Px, py, pz. So m will be minus 1 for this. So for these 2 electrons, students, please listen carefully. I have taken only this example to show that the 2 electrons cannot have the same set of quantum number. They differ in spin quantum number. So if I take this electron which is there in 2p, I'll tell you the values for both the electron. For both the electron, n value will be 2, L value will be 1, and m value will be minus 1. But what about S value? If you can see, one is spinning in the clockwise direction, one is spinning in the anti-clockwise direction. So one electron will have S value plus half, another electron will have S value minus half. That is what this principle says. Maybe out of 4 quantum numbers, 3 quantum number will be the same, but the 2 electron has to differ in the spin quantum number, because here in this both cannot have upspin. One should be upspin, other one should be downspin. One should be clockwise, the other one has to be anti-clockwise. So they differ in the spin quantum number. That is what is the Pauli's rule. So please, all of you, make a note of Pauli's exclusion principle. Next is half Bose principle. This will help us to arrange the energy level for each and every orbital. The electrons occupy the various available orbitals in the increasing order of their energies. So order of orbitals in increasing order of energy is 1s, 2s, 2p. This is the order, students. Please take down. Starts from onwards till 6s. If you write, it's more than enough. Now, how did we get this order? Is from this diagram. Follow this arrow mark. Can you see here? Arrow mark 1s, then 2s. Follow the arrow mark 2p, 3s. Again, follow the arrow mark 3p, 4s. After 4s, you are coming to 3d, 4p, 5s, and so on. So based on this is what is called as tree diagram, or this is called as half Bose rule. So based on this rule, you're going to arrange the orbital in the increasing order of their energies. Now same disorder, if you can see, you have 4s first, then 3d. Can you see here? 4s first, then 3d. Then you have 4p and so on. Okay. Now same thing, 3p first and then 4s, same thing we will understand from another example, another rule which is also called as n plus L rule. Now what does this n plus L rule says is, according to n plus L rule, among the two orbital, the one which has the higher n plus value will have the higher energy. Suppose if you have two orbitals, if you can see here, 3p is also 4, 4s is also 4. 3p is 4, 4s is also 4. Then comes your 3d, 3d is 5. Now for 3p, it is 3 plus 1, that is 4. Okay. Similarly at 4, 4 plus 0 is 4. So if you can take these two, you see that both have the same value. Okay. So since both have the same value here, okay, it is 3 plus 1 here, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 0 is 4. Both have the value 4. But you have 3p first and then 4s, because 4s has higher energy value. That is what it says. Has n plus L value will have the higher energy. The one which has higher n plus L value will have higher energy. And here it is, both are the same. Okay. The one with the higher n value will have the higher energy. Okay. So here right now we'll concentrate on 4s and 3d. Forget about 3p, students. There's something different here. Let us take 4s and 3d. 4s will have n plus L value 4 and 3d has 5. So that is why you have 3d later and then 4s. First you have 4s and then 3d. Okay. Next example. Can you see here? We'll take two orbitals having the same n plus L value. Then the orbital with the higher n value will have the higher energy. For example, consider 4s and 3p. Here n is 4 and n is 3. L is 0, L is 1. If you take the sum together, it is 4. Here 3 plus 1 is 4. So what happens? 4s has higher energy than 3p. 4s has, both has the, but 4s has higher energy than 3p. Why? It is higher orbital. 4s is of the higher orbital. So 4s also has the value 4. 3p also has the value 4. But between 4s and 3p, which has higher energy? 4s, because 4s is of higher energy. 4s has n value will have higher energy. Which has higher n value will have higher energy. So between these two, energy value for 4 is more than 3. Therefore 4s comes first. 3p comes first and then 4s. So 4s will have the higher energy than 3p. Coming to the fourth one, Hund's rule. Hund's rule, among the orbital of same energy, electrons do not start pairing until all the available orbitals occupy one electron. Let us take nitrogen. Totally 4 electrons are there, 7 electrons are there for nitrogen, of which 4 you are going to allot here. If you consider this orbital, capacity of each orbital, as I told you, is 2. So 1s give 2 electrons, 2s also give 2 electrons. So 2 plus 2, 4 electrons is gone. You are left out with 3 electrons. So allot the electron singly. Of the 3, put 1 electron each. So you'll have px1, py1 and pz1. give one electron each. Then the fifth electron, the fourth electron for this, you can start pairing it up. So this is what is Hund's rule. So among the orbitals of same energy, electrons do not start pairing until all the available orbitals occupy by one electron. So all the orbitals will have one electron. Then you can have pairing. Until then, you will not have pairing. That is what is Hund's rule. Okay. So there are totally 4 rules, students. First one is Pauli's exclusion principle. Second and third is very important. Arranging the energy orbitals in the increasing order of their energy. If you remember the arrangement, students, it's more than enough. Then N plus L rule finished. Fourth one is Hund's rule. So Pauli's rule, Hawkbush rule, N plus L rule, and Hund's rule. Okay. So let us now concentrate on these questions, students. State Hawkbush rule. How do I explain Hawkbush rule? Yeah. It states that electrons occupies the various available orbitals in the increasing order of their energy. So take down this order. This much, if you remember about Hawkbush, is more than enough. If you don't remember this diagram also, it's okay. All you need to know is first understand the statement of Hawkbush rule. Electrons occupies the various orbitals in the increasing order of energies. Then take down this energy level diagram, students. Take down this energy. 1s less than, 2s less than, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 5p, and 6s. Take down all this. Okay, this is how we explain Hawkbush rule. Okay, then what is the next question? Explain Hund's rule. How do I explain Hund's rule? If you can see this, it states that among the orbitals of same energy, electrons do not start pairing until all the available orbitals occupied by one electron. So, especially of equal energy, if you take 2p, 2px, 2py, and 2pz, all these 3 orbitals are the same. In p, if you take, you have 3 suborbitals, px, py, pz. In d, if you take, you have 5 suborbitals, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square, y square, and dz square. All these 5 orbitals of d will have same. So when you have orbitals of same energy, you don't have that problem in S, because S has only one suborbital. S has only sub 1. There is no suborbital for S. It's only one orbital. If you take P, you will have 3 suborbitals. So this Hund's rule is applicable for orbitals like P, D, and F, where you have orbitals of same energy. Then what do? Electrons do not start pairing until all the available orbitals occupied by one electron. So that is why whatever 3 electrons you have for nitrogen for p orbital, 4 electrons already you have allotted here. For 1s we have allotted 2 electrons. For 2s we have allotted 2 electrons. But when it comes for this one, p orbital, you have 3 electrons. So put 1 electron each. So until all the available orbitals occupied by 1 electron. That is what is Hund's rule. Okay, so that is what you have to write here for this question. Explain Hund's rule. Next, what is the significance of spin quantum number? If you take all the 4 quantum numbers together, start with the first one. Principal quantum number indicates the main energy level of the electron. It indicates the orbit. It indicates the shell. Next, second one, azimuthal quantum number. It tells you the suborbital. It tells you the shape of the orbital. Suborbital, whether it is S, P, D, or F. Shape of the orbital, if it is S, it is spherical. If it is P, it is dumbbelled. If it is D, it is double dumbbell. And if it is F, it is complicated. Now, third is the magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number indicates the orientation of electron in a particular orbit. If it is S, how it is spaced? S is spherical. It is spaced all over. If it is P, how it is oriented? P, you have 3. Px, dumbbell is oriented along x-axis. Py, dumbbell is oriented along y-axis. Pz, dumbbell is oriented along z-axis. So orientation is indicated by magnetic quantum number. Spin quantum number tells you the spin of the electron. Whether the electron is spinning in clockwise direction or it is spinning in anti-clockwise direction is what is told by spin quantum number. So the value of spin quantum number is independent. It does not depend on any value. It can have only two values. Spin can be plus half, spin can be minus half. The electrons can have the only two types of spin, clockwise spin and anti-clockwise spin. Clockwise spin value will be plus half. Anti-clockwise spin, the value will be minus half. So the students, write the answers for all these three questions and maintain it in a book. Okay, have the same book for all the sessions. All the assignment questions take down in a book. All the notes what you see in the video, the slides, each and every slide, what are the points you're going to see, important points, take down in a separate book. Okay, so with this I'll end of the 5th session, students. Next session will be the last one for structure of atom. So I'll discuss few more concept about structure of atom, and very important, learn to write the electronic configuration of elements in the next session. Okay. So until then, revise all the 5 sessions thoroughly, then you can understand the 6th session better. Thank you, students.